Hi, I've got something you'll be interested in. Those performance upgrades we discussed after the last race. They're on the car and the data looks promising. Take a look at the details.
What's going on, guys? Over here, welcome back to my F1 2016 career mode, episode number 2 today from the Bahrain Grand Prix. As you can see, we're kicking things off with our brand new R&D report for our 5 new parts for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Yeah, 5. We bought 5 parts in episode number 1, if you did miss that at the Australian Grand Prix, the opener to this season 2 of career mode. We bought 3 downforce ones and 2 fuel ones, if you have forgotten. So that's a lot of upgrades. It was really kind of weird to kind of have 5, one after the other, come up right at the beginning of this little race weekend, because I'm used to just having 1 new part fitted animation coming up, and that's about it. But we got 5 in a row. Really felt nice. Just even before I got in the car here at Bahrain to see the difference in how the car felt, I was just feeling a lot more confident just knowing that we had all these parts coming on the car, and technically we're the second fastest car now on the grid according to the little graph thing on the right hand side there. So I don't know how valid that is, but we'll see how it goes. But apparently we're ahead of Ferrari and Red Bull, but I highly doubt we actually fully are, because I don't completely trust that little graph there. But you can see there our 3 new downforce upgrades have been installed and the 2 fuel efficiency ones. So hopefully now we'll be able to run rich mix a lot more, and hopefully we'll feel that extra downforce. So we're now on par with 3 upgrades for everything you can see pretty much apart from fuel. So engine, downforce, drag reduction and chassis weight, all on 3 parts upgraded. So we're kind of getting to that level stage. Probably we might level out the fuel as well so we can get everything on 3, just because that's my OCD kicking in. But anyway, we move on to the Bahrain practice because we have to continue improving the car, because we're not quite the fastest car yet. And if we want to win the championship against Ultimate AI, you really do need to have a car that matches the AI, because even if you do have a car that's probably the fastest on the grid that matches the AI cars like the Mercedes car, it's still not going to be a very easy ride for you to win races. So we need to keep on improving, keep getting those parts. We also did the qualifying pace test in FP3, or FP2 I should say, so I could get a better idea of the conditions, because obviously FP2 at Bahrain is going to be at the same time roughly as qualifying. Speaking of qualifying, we moved swiftly on, so we did all the practice programs, and as per usual now I got pretty used to the game, so we were able to get 50 out of 50 for everything there and get a whole load of points for ourselves and the team. We move into this first qualifying lap, and a one and only qualifying lap, and it actually turns out to be a very, very tasty lap. I felt very, very confident, and I could straight away just see the downforce levels, feel the downforce levels, I should say, in the car compared to Season 1, because in Season 1 I had to do a very high downforce setup on the actual wings. I think I ran like 11.10 or 11.9 front wing and rear wing in Season 1. In Season 2, I believe I ran only about 8.6 or maybe 8.7, a lot less wings needed, because the car was naturally a lot more kind of planted to the ground due to the 3 new upgrades we got for downforce. So the lap felt pretty damn good. We come through the final corner right now. At the moment, Daniel Ricciardo is on pole position, but we'll see how it goes. But it's felt pretty decent here. I'm feeling good. We're apparently the second fastest team on the grid. We come across the line, and it is going to be 2nd place for the Bahrain Grand Prix for the race. So on the front row, that just felt awesome. It really did. I had no idea where we were, because obviously when you set your first flying lap, there's no delta time, and that was my one and only lap because it was right at the end of the session. I left it quite late, so I had no delta time, so I didn't know where I actually was in the pecking order. So coming across the line to see that number 2 on the bottom left was so satisfying. The first time we've got to the front row, indeed. You know, we haven't got a pole position yet in this career mode. First time getting the front row felt absolutely awesome, and, you know, really felt like an achievement that we, you know, improved the car so much over an entire season, and now it's starting to pay off finally, getting a front row here for the Bahrain Grand Prix next to Daniel Ricciardo. Our teammate there down in 8th place and do as well, Jenson Button, but we'll see how we go. Everyone's going to be starting the super softs in the top 10, so hopefully we can have a good turn 1, generally a good start. We usually have pretty good starts on this new game, so hopefully we can try and maybe jump Ricciardo into turn 1. We'll have to see. Let's go to the race and see what we can do. Right, so as per usual, let's take a look at that race strategy before the formation lap. It's going to be a 2-stop as per usual. A lot of the Grand Prix are 2 stops, but we're going to be using all 3 tyre compounds here. From what I remember from Season 1, I think we used 2 compounds, I think it was only. So I think we're going to stick with the 3 compound one, super softs. Then we're going to go to the hardest tyre, the medium tyre, then the soft tyre. So hopefully that will mean we're faster and punchier at the end of the Grand Prix, but we might have a little bit of pain right after our first pit stop. But we're all starting the super softs here in the top 10, so it's a fair game down to turn 1 in that first stint. We're on second place, the front row, first time ever in our career mode, so I'm hoping that we can get one of those good starts that we've been quite used to on F1 2016 so far to try and beat Ricciardo into turn 1, and then we could potentially go from there. But either way, I am really just happy to be here, to be honest, on the front row, lining up in this second place grid slot alongside Ricciardo for the very first time in our career mode. We go to 5 red lights for the Bahrain Grand Prix. What can we do today? Round 2, Season 2, we're underway. Drop the clutch, and we've got a pretty good initial getaway. Ricciardo bogs down, so we've got another good F1 2016 getaway like we have done so many times in previous career mode races. But Ricciardo outbrakes us into turn 1. We go too tight into the apex. We hit the curb. That loses us some time there. Ricciardo gets back into first place, but crucially, look at this. We get under a slipstream once more off that little chicane. We'll make a pretty easy move even before the next turn arrives, and we're back into first place of this Grand Prix, and so we're leading our very first race of this season. So it's myself in first place, Ricciardo second, then the 2 Ferraris, and then the 2 Mercedes, who have had a poor weekend so far, poor qualifying, and not the best getaway. You know, they're probably hoping they could try and jump the Ferraris, but obviously the Ferrari cars have been known for their good start so far in the real-life Grand Prix, and I feel like also in this game as well. So at the moment, we just need to try and control this race, but we move on to lap 2. It doesn't take too long for Ricciardo to start applying the pressure, as well as the 2 Ferraris, who are not too far behind, and really there's still a little bit of a train here. They're probably the top 6, I would say, here, and a little bit of a train with me leading it. But here goes Ricciardo now in the slipstream down to the last corner, goes down the inside, but we've learned from Season 1 I can do the switchback, get a better run off the corner, and we can't fully undercut him completely, but we'll try our best to now get him into turn 1. And look at that, the straight line speed we've actually got. We waltzed past him without DRS, so awesome to finally have that engine power underneath our car, in the back underneath our engine cover, to be able to just go past Ricciardo once more back into first place, even though he may have the superior downforce still in that Red Bull car. So we're back into first place on the beginning of lap 3. We move on to lap 4 now. You can see we set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, and let's just take a moment to appreciate that. I just felt really, really awesome about that. You know, during the Grand Prix, it just felt nice to be able to set a purple lap time for the first time, feel comfortable leading a Grand Prix. I think it's a sign of things to come, to be honest. I think it's, you know, this season is going to be a very fun one. Once our car really fully gets up there, where I don't have to actually, you know, maybe defend as much as I am probably right now, it is going to be a very fun time to actually legitimately have the pace to battle all these guys. But for now, we have to do some more defending. Ricciardo goes down our inside yet again a few laps later. This is actually going to be our pit stop lap. We actually move to the right-hand side, and thankfully, Ricciardo does the same thing. Otherwise, that would have been quite awkward. But thankfully, me and Ricciardo are both coming in on the same lap, as well as the third car there of the Ferrari, and also Mercedes car. So that would have been quite awkward if Ricciardo was on my right-hand side and I was starting to jimmy to the right-hand side to go into the pits, because otherwise he would have had to brake, or probably would have even caused a crash there. So thankfully that's fine. But unfortunately though, you can see my pit crew haven't done the best job. We got held up a little bit by Ricciardo, and so we've lost that place. We have to try and get that place back from Ricciardo as we come out the pits on medium tyres, remember. Crucially, Ricciardo's on softs, and behind us, Hamilton is also on soft tyres. So just as I said, we might be on the slower tyre compared to these guys on the first pit stop, but by the second one, we'll be on the soft tyres, they'll be on the mediums, and straight away out the pits, a very identical move to lap 1. We get in the slipstream of Ricciardo, go down his inside here into turn 4, I think it is, and we're up into P17 for now. But obviously later on, as people make their pit stops, it will hopefully be first place. But interestingly enough, actually, if you look on the top left, Jenson Button is ahead of us, and I think he's already made a pit stop, a very early one. So I think Jenson has technically undercut all of us and he's into a net first place. But clearly, as you can obviously see as well, he's onto another set of super soft tyres. So that tells me that Jenson is probably trying a 3-stop, so we'll see how that goes for him, and we'll see which strategy works out best. My 2-stop versus his 3-stop, so we'll see how that compares. But let's move on to lap 8 now. You can see Ricciardo has already gone round or outside into the last corner and is now trying to get me into turn 1. Hamilton, this is on the left-hand side, onto the Ferrari there. Verstappen comes out of the pits. We go through turn 1, hit the curb just like we did on lap 1, and that allows Hamilton to go past us. We'll try and get back in his slipstream here, so again, like an identical move that we just made on Ricciardo, we're going to try and get Hamilton back here. It's going to be a little bit tricky. We don't have the full grip compared to his soft tyres, but we'll try. It goes side by side. He's still going to hang it on the left-hand side there. Still very much there. Need to give him the room. Into the S section we go. We just get ahead, but he's still on the inside there, so we have to go wide. We just about make it onto the curbing, and we keep that place, and we keep 12th place for now. So at the moment, it looks like I'm battling for around 2nd place, because technically Jensen's in a 1st place, but he's on a 3-stop, so really we're all fighting for 1st at the moment. But at the moment, Ricciardo is in that 1st place, and this is me and Hamilton scrapping over what will be hopefully around 2nd place. I would imagine, you know, obviously there's going to be other people who are maybe going much longer into the Grand Prix. Maybe some people started on medium tyres. We'll have to see how it all filters out, but for now, Hamilton's not done yet. He goes down the inside there after the DRS section and gets cleanly past us. You can see I just can't really keep up with him in that corner with his soft tyres, but into the last corner, crucially, we get a pretty good run-off there, and we'll have DRS on towards lap 9, so we can come back at him now. And look at this, yet again, the lovely Honda power with DRS. Here we go, as Hamilton sparks away there, his car bottoming him out. We go into turn 1, we try and squeeze him out, but he actually keeps it round the outside and does really well to squeeze me out here, and he's going to put me onto the curbing, which will lose us momentum. And then here comes, I think, Sebastian Vettel. Yeah, Sebastian Vettel, and also Max Verstappen on the left-hand side. At this point, I give up with it. I just think, let's brake early, let's get behind all these guys, let's not waste time battling them. I'm doing my own race here on the medium tyres. I can't afford to wear my tyres out. As much as I'm liking wearing their tyres out, I brake early and just kind of stick behind him, try and get in the DRS of Verstappen, trying to hang back, and basically just hope they can pull me along. And then by the time their soft tyres start to wear out, maybe we can attack them on fresher mediums. But we move on to lap 12 now, about 4 laps later. You can see they're getting away from us, but we're still in sight. They're still in sight, which is good, because the medium tyre definitely is a lot slower than the softs. It really wasn't feeling that great compared to what I've done in practice before on the soft tyres during the practice programs. But we still got them in sight because they're battling ahead. You can see Hamilton go side by side with Vettel there. I think that is up ahead of us. They actually go 3 wide into turn 2. Awesome to see. You can see actually Vettel loses quite a lot of momentum there. We've actually gained about half a second, I would say, visually on them. So you can see it's working out, actually. They're battling each other. They're losing some time on what will be the softer tyre, the faster tyre, and so we're keeping up with them. So at the moment, we're only P7. I'm hoping that that's because people are yet to make their pit stops up ahead. Otherwise, it looks like all of us have lost time to other people in this Grand Prix. And so we've gone from essentially battling for 1st and 2nd place to battling for about, I would say, P4 here, because obviously we've got 3 cars ahead of us from P7. And as we move on to lap 13, you can see Kvyat now in the Toro Rosso is looking to overtake us here. He comes through, he's got DRS obviously at this point, he's on soft tyres, and he goes right past us, unfortunately. So I don't put up much of a fight into turn 1. There's no use trying to dive bomb that. It's a bit too far back, I think, in my opinion. So we just stick behind. We can see Vettel and Hamilton still fighting away. We're going to try and keep up with Kvyat and try and get back in the DRS, because on towards the last corner of the same lap, lap 14, we'll be within 1 second. We'll get DRS back, and hopefully this will be a nice easy move, but at the same time will let us kind of catch back to these two up ahead of Vettel and Hamilton, who you could hopefully see in the distance are still side by side battling away. A great little AI scrap there between the German and the fellow Brit there into turn 1. You can see, there you go, Vettel and Hamilton going side by side. We easily overtake Kvyat there with DRS, waltz past him, but you can see they're losing time hand over fist here, so this is really helping us out, trying to catch up to them. Now Hamilton's the one who's lost out, so now he's down to 6th, and Vettel has got it up into 5th place. So hopefully in the next few laps their tyres going to wear out even more. My mediums are still feeling pretty okay, so hopefully we can try and pounce on them like I hoped and planned. As we move on to lap 16, that's exactly what happens. I get in DRS of Hamilton, but unfortunately, annoyingly, he goes into the pits on that very same lap. So I would have been able to overtake Hamilton. My plan would have worked, and I would have overtaken Hamilton on worn softs and my okay mediums, but he came in on the exact same lap. So I guess that's pretty logical, though. He doesn't want to lose any time on worn tyres. But we continue on for a few more laps here on lap 17 and try and go as long as we can, just so we can keep our soft tyres at the end a little bit fresher, hopefully. But you can see Verstappen up ahead. Looks like he's got a pretty big gap there. So the Red Bull working well here at Bahrain. I believe Ricciardo is still leading this Grand Prix. And so Verstappen's trying to get back into this race after a poor qualifying. But on to lap 18, the next lap, we come into the pits. This will be for the soft tyres. So at the moment, it looks like Ricciardo's leading the Grand Prix. Then I think it might be my teammate somewhere in the mix. Raikkonen as well, and then Verstappen in 4th place. Then I'm around fighting for 5th place with Massa, Vettel and Hamilton, although we haven't seen a lot of Massa in the Grand Prix, but he's been kind of on a bit of a different strategy, him and Bottas as well. But there you go, onto the soft tyres. Thankfully no one holds us up this time. But we come down the pit lane and we'll see where we come out. We're in 7th place at the moment. It's going to be, oh God, it's going to be 10th place behind Kvyat and the 2 Renaults there. So that's not really worked out too well for me, as Kvyat hit already earlier. Obviously, we were battling him up earlier ahead, so that's not really worked out too well. So not great pace at the end of that medium stint then, that must be. But we're going to try and make the best use of these soft tyres. Immediately go for a very audacious move down the inside of 2 cars there, Palmer and Kvyat, and a pretty easy move, actually. I mean, I said it was audacious, but really, that was a very, very easy move. Both cars going so slowly there into that turn 4 section. And now we'll do the same thing on Magnussen, who goes so slow into the hairpin corner. And I just have so much grip on fresh, uber fresh new soft tyres that's a very, very easy move for me to make down the inside on the curbing in the hairpin. And so we're up into what will be, I think this is 9th place or back into 7th, I think, by now. Yeah, 7th place, back into 7th place. So Vettel up ahead on medium tyres. So as I said, hopefully this is now time to get the head down, try and push hard, try and catch him up on the softer tyres. Unfortunately, though, on lap 21, as we come across the line for lap 22, you can see we're in 6th place at the moment. That's because Hamilton has made an extra pit stop that I don't think he was planning. You can see Vettel nowhere to be seen ahead of us on the mini-map. Quite a sizable gap there with only 7 laps to go. I can't really explain it. Just no pace on the soft tyres, unfortunately. And it looks like Vettel's done a good enough job on the softs and the mediums to get away from us. So really, the plan of being fast at the end really did not work out for us. And actually on lap 27 now, we're under pressure from Hamilton, who I said made that kind of extra pit stop that I don't think he was hoping to make, or I think he must have had a spin or something like that. So Hamilton goes down our inside. We're going to try and get a switchback line, and once more, like earlier on in the Grand Prix, just use that momentum like we did on the Red Bull car earlier on Ricciardo, get the DRS, and we'll slip through him back here on towards the second last lap of the Grand Prix. Here we come on the right hand side as the fireworks start to go off as we go towards the ending of this Grand Prix. We get back into what will be 6th place as Hamilton has to settle for 7th for now, but he gets a pretty damn good exit off this corner. I don't know what it was. Even on soft tyres, I was having an inferior exit to Hamilton here, and he gets a great run. He'll come up on the right hand side. We're going to brake early here. We're going to do a little bit of a shimmy on the right really early, turn really early, lose the back end, but we controlled it quite nicely. He did a bit of drifting there midway through the corner, and we made a really nice move there. I was actually really satisfied after all the misery of coming down from what was fighting for 1st place to 6th. I really did enjoy that move. That was really satisfying to brake early, turn nice and early, get it bang on, and we get back in 6th place. And unfortunately, though, that's where we're going to have to settle it. So, although I did enjoy my racing there at the end, unfortunately, not where I wanted to be from what was a front row. I think the strategy, again, you know, we shot ourselves in the foot. I think a few of you guys told me about that in Australia, that I've done that a lot recently. And I think that's something that we're going to have to work on. I think our car is getting there. It's getting there. It's not quite right there for the win and for the victories, but I think if it gets there and we sort out our strategy and we start maybe just working on it a little bit, we can get there. We can get there, but it's going to take some time. But patience, guys, patience. We've got another 19 rounds in this season. We've got plenty of time. I think it's way too early to start thinking about the championship, but Nico Rosberg wins the Bahrain Grand Prix there. So surprisingly, Ricciardo looked like the 2 Red Bulls had some good pace, but in the end, the Mercedes comes through. Rosberg winning the Grand Prix, Raikkonen in 2nd place there, I think that is, and then Ricciardo 3rd place. Verstappen with a really good comeback there, I feel, in 4th place. Our teammate, you can see, didn't make the 3-stop work, so it looked like in the end the 2-stop was the better strategy. Button was leading the Grand Prix at one point, but it didn't work out for him there. You can see in the championship at the moment, Kimi Raikkonen actually surprisingly leading the way in this early stages, but as I said, plenty to go. It's very, very early, way too early to start thinking about the championship in terms of, you know, if we've kind of lost it or anything like that, or start talking about our chances. We have to see. I think about maybe around Canada, we'll see if we're really in it or not. But until then, just try and do our best. Next one's the Chinese Grand Prix. If you remember in Season 1, China was quite a good one for us, although being one of my worst tracks, actually, and not one that I enjoy driving. Last season, it was the first podium we got in the season. So here's a knock on wood that we can maybe do something well there, and we'll see how it goes. But we get a lot of resource points, so we can hopefully try and get an R&D upgrade after we've done some practice stuff in China to try and get maybe some more downforce, maybe some fuel efficiency. We'll see about that. Maybe let me know, guys, what you think I should do in the next episode. But guys, if you did enjoy that video, nonetheless, smash the like button. Some nice racing there. Really did enjoy that move I made on Hamilton. I was really chuffed with that, even though 6th might have not been where we wanted to be. So yeah, hit that like button if you did enjoy it. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Hopefully, as you guys know from Australia, I did say it in that video as well, and hopefully people will inform you in the comments if you are wondering. This season's going to go a little bit slow, obviously, because I'm starting university back up for my 3rd year, so upload's going to be a little bit slower. Hopefully I can get maybe 2 a week minimum out of this series, but bear with me, guys. If it's only 1 a week, then you just know that it's probably because I'm too busy, so hopefully you guys can understand that. But nonetheless, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.